David Carr led online presenters to charter in 2017 and has helped his home club, Club Awesome in Coral Springs, Florida, adapt to hybrid meetings. Intended more as an opportunity for discussion than a true Q&A, David's presentation today focuses on advice for clubs thinking of going 100% online because of challenges with both in-person and hybrid meetings. The big questions are, is running a successful online club easier or harder than running a more traditional Toastmasters club? What are the trade-offs, and what are the challenges to going all or mostly virtual? The title is, What are the challenges of running a successful online club? Let's welcome David Carr with a round of applause.
Thank you very much, Carolina. So I got started on this because I got a question. Somebody who's a former member of my home club, Club Awesome, wrote to me saying, I've been going around to speaking to different clubs about the importance of club culture. And I've been hearing there's a lot of clubs out there that are struggling along with 8 members or so. And half of those people are online, remote, somewhere else in the world. They're getting pressure from the district to go back to fully in person or to go hybrid. And they think that sounds like a pain in the neck. They're resistant to change, so they want to stay all online. I think that's actually kind of funny all by itself. They're resistant to change, so they want to be an all online Toastmasters club because that seems easier. And that was actually one of my questions. Is it easier or is it harder to run an effective online club? Now, we've been doing this since 2017. We started it just because I was interested in giving webinars, having opportunities to do webinars, and I wanted to be able to do them better. And I saw that that was going to be an important professional skill, probably for a lot of people, to be able to get out there and to be online presenting, not just up in front of a group of people. And then in 2020, I took a trip to Wuhan, China, and planted a virus that spread all across the world. And it was great for our club. It shut down the world. And a lot of people came to online presenters to figure out how to do online Toastmasters because all of a sudden they had to. My evil plot worked. Let me share with you, though, I actually did, in addition to starting a discussion thread on this topic on Facebook and trying to stir up discussion there and then inviting people to come here and talk about it in person, I did a little bit of research. So I'm going to share a few facts and figures with you, just a few slides. We'll try and keep that relatively painless, that part. But what makes for a healthy online club? Well, I set out trying to get a sense of how healthy the current batch of online clubs is. Now, there is a page on the Toastmasters International website, and you're told if you want to find an online-only club, click here, because they really haven't gotten around to integrating the search for an online experience with the Find a Club search function on the site. Otherwise, it would allow you to search, regardless of zip code, by schedule or the specialty of the club. Haven't gotten there yet. There are some problems with this list. I found out that it lists a bunch of dead clubs. So, for example, it lists Digital Communicators, which was a very strong club started by one of our past presidents, Nick Lahani. It was going along great for a couple of years, and then I guess they got to a point where Nick didn't want to be president for yet again another year and couldn't get people to step up. They couldn't get a new leadership team in place. And so that disbanded. And, other probably more forgettable online clubs have fallen by the wayside in the meantime, and they're still listed on this page. I think we're also missing a lot of what I call de facto online clubs. They didn't charter as online clubs. They may not have gotten around to telling Toastmasters online that they're meeting all online, and so they're actually not listed on this page. But a bunch of clubs are listed on this page, and I went through a process of any computer nerds online will know what screen scraping is. I basically pulled in the contents of this page, extracted some data. Really, I wanted to find the club numbers of the different clubs which were encoded in the web addresses, and then figured out a way of pulling in some data. And this is what some of that looks like. Now, this is sort of the top of the list, and we're kind of in the middle. We are down a few members. This is looking at what they show as your base number in the Toastmasters dashboard, the number of members you had at the start of the Toastmasters year, and where you are now. We're down a few, so you'll see a few in red there. One club is down like 10 members, but still at 24. That's pretty respectable. And the largest one that I see is at 36 members and has added 7 members recently. So congratulations, Shilling Speakers Toastmasters. I don't think they're here tonight. Buddies, which I know a little bit because they've participated in some of the past multi-club events we've been involved in organizing, and they also use the Toastmasters.org website platform that I've set up. They're doing quite well. 31 members, again, a growth of 7. And I was trying to get a sense of whether, on average, are most of these online clubs growing, shrinking? On average, a bunch of them are down a couple of members. And so that leads me to think that maybe it's not so easy to run a successful online club. Now, I still consider online presenters to be a successful online club. Don't get me wrong. If you've been around Toastmasters for a while, you know there can be a lot of reasons why people leave. They get a new job, they get a new schedule. It's no longer convenient for them, and hopefully they don't hate you. They just can't do it anymore. So, but there are also clubs that are growing, and about 29% of those active online clubs with 20 or more members, so kind of the section that I put us in, a little less than a third of them are growing, have added some members in recent months. This is a breakdown. This is the 132 total, 23 that are actually dead, so really 109. And then we've got this fraction that I consider healthy, 20 or more members. The others I put in the muddling through category, 10 to 19 members. Maybe those are 19 fantastic members, and they'll be at 20, 25, 30 pretty soon. And I classify under 10 as struggling, but maybe they're just getting going too. But it's a range, and not everybody is achieving fantastic success. And let's see, wait a minute. Okay, I'm sorry. Actually, this figure was the number, about 29% of the active online clubs have 20 or more members. Of those clubs, 12 out of 32 are actually adding to membership right now. And we need to make sure that we get online presenters into that club. So I'm going to go into open discussion in a few moments, and hopefully get through that before I start to see timer red signals. But just a few things that I've gotten as feedback online, or things that I've offered to other people. I say that hybrid can be the best of both worlds. It can also be the worst of both worlds. So I've been doing hybrid support for Club Awesome for a couple of years now. There have been more than a couple. There have been quite a few meetings, whereas me and one other person in the room saying, we're running around like chickens with our heads cut off trying to set up all this technology, and it's just you and me, and everybody else is online. And it took us a while, but we got back to a better balance where we'll have half or sometimes more than half of the people actually in the room. And we've done things like we're a Friday morning club, so we'll have a breakfast on the last Friday of the month and often a special event to try and give people a reason to come in person. So think about that. You may have to give people an extra reason to come in person if you're trying to achieve that balance. I also think there's what I call the phenomenon of the accidental online club. They were meeting online, particularly the people who were forced online during COVID. They accepted a few members from outside the local area because why not? And then they got to the point where maybe they could have gone back in person, but they didn't want to lose those members that they'd attracted. Plus, there's a little bit of an etiquette issue. They paid their dues. You'd have to at least wait to the end of the dues period to say, I'm sorry, we're going back to fully online. Have a nice life. So that could be awkward. Now, Nick Smith is actually with us here tonight. The club that he and Jim Barber are in, Plantation Toastmasters. Nick was telling me that they made it very clear to people all along. Yeah, sure, you can visit us online while we're meeting online, but we're planning to go back to fully in person as soon as this nightmare is over. And Nick is somebody who has a lot of technical skills. He's capable of doing the hybrid thing. In fact, I think he's doing it for some district events, but he didn't want to have to do it every week or to have that be on him. And it's definitely a challenge to do it right. So don't be an accidental online club. Make a decision to go online if that's the course that you're going to take. And also think about the fact that you are going to have to brand yourself differently. Because I think the default brand of an individual Toastmasters club for many years was they meet just down the street at a convenient time for me. If that's not your identity, you actually risk losing the local identity if you don't do something to keep that up. And what is your identity? It has to be, you have to have some way of telling the world what it is that makes your club special. So that's something to think about. And of course, I can't get through this without saying that you should have a better website and you should sign up for toastmost.org to host your website based on WordPress, not that nasty free toast host thing. But anyway, that's another issue. That's a pet project of mine. I'd actually like to ask people, what is your district attitude towards online clubs? If you're online and you're affiliated with a district, are they pushing you back to in person? Are they pushing you back to hybrid? Or have you not heard anything either way? Maybe Jim and Chris can tell me that. Have you gotten any kind of pressure?
My understanding is that there is no pressure one way or the other. We do not even have to declare that we are 100% online, which we are. We just made sure on the Toastmasters website that it does say online participation available.
Right.
And we're done.
Yeah. You might want to get on that list of online clubs just as a recruiting tool.
Good thought.
Let's see, anybody else here who's from an online only club? Any other online only club folks here? Really? Dr. Sonny.
Sunny. Hello, I'm a member of District 43 Toastmasters, which represents Mississippi, Tennessee, and Arkansas. I am a member of an online club in Arkansas, an online club in Mississippi as well. And we have started doing meetings in person in terms of our conferences. We have a conference in April that will be in Arkansas. A few months ago, we had a meeting in Mississippi. So there are clubs that are going back, but what is a challenge is getting a location space for many of the clubs. So right now, the clubs that are mostly online, I think there are like 100 clubs in our district. Most of them are either online or hybrid, to my knowledge.
And actually, I've heard that that's a huge thing, that people lose their location. And again, sometimes it's not necessarily that they couldn't find another location, but it just seems easier to go online. Chris, you have your hand up? You want to ask something more?
Yes, just you sparked thoughts when we talked earlier about, well, if you don't have the identity of you're down the street at a convenient time, what could there be? And we have talked in our club about maybe we should just admit we're old folks. So age defined by age, and we're not goal oriented for growing our leadership. We just want to stay sharp and have some camaraderie.
Okay. All right. We have to wrap up pretty soon, but Dr. Byrne.
Yes. For my situation, I started off with you at Club Awesome, and then with COVID, went online. And then when I moved from Coral Springs to Tampa, I've maintained relationships with my clubs in Broward County and here because they are hybrid and online capable. I know that in my own club, Club Voice, one of my clubs that I belong to, we went and signed up for hybrid as soon as it became possible on the Toastmasters website. And that was because at the time I had broken my leg, and traveling back and forth to the club was very difficult. And we were in the Herbert's Civic Center, and they had Wi-Fi, and they had monitors available so I could get on and we can do our meetings. The club I'm in, one of the clubs I'm in now in District 48, Carrollwood, has a number of the older members that long for being together in person. And I won't say that they're technophobes, but they much prefer meeting than dealing with all the technology that we deal with in terms of setting up the meeting. So I'm seeing both of those things. They're not forcing you to do it that way, but certainly when they speak, you hear coming from their voices a strong preference for coming back to a full meeting as opposed to online.
Okay. Thanks, Sandy. So I've gone past my time. Maybe we'll have a chance either in the after meeting or at the end of the meeting to chat more about this if people want to, but I do want to allow other people to speak as well.